What's going on, everybody? My name is Ryan, and if you are into mobile and gaming tech, yeah, you have come to the right channel. Do me a favor. Consider hitting that little subscribe button down yonder so you can help me build this channel. And at the very end, if you've enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. But listen, we have to jump on the hype train today. Yes, we do. You clicked on the title. You clicked on the thumbnail, whatever. You know what this is about. And yes, we are going to be talking about the Pixel 6 today. Not the 6 Pro, but the 6 in particular, because this phone has really caught my attention, and I want to talk about why. You'll see behind me here, I am in possession of a Pixel 3 XL, which I thought was a great phone. But then I also moved on to a Pixel 5, which is a little bit smaller. And that's really the point. That's why I decided to try out the Pixel 6. Now, I don't actually own one. I've just had an opportunity to play around with one for the last few hours, and I've got some thoughts. Some of them might be a little bit polarizing, but to be honest, I really did like this phone. If you've been subscribed for a while, if you've been following me for a bit on the socials, you know that I am, in fact, Team Pixel, despite the fact I use an iPhone 13 Pro Max as my daily driver. I know. I'm one of those people. Pixel's great, tweeted from iPhone, but it's whatever. Let's move past that and talk about the build quality of the Pixel 6. I think that this phone feels so premium, probably the most premium of a Pixel phone that I've ever actually held. Only drawback I can find when holding onto this device, or rather looking at it, is the fact that you can see seams all over the place. You can see exactly where the screen was inlaid to the frame. You can see exactly where the camera was inlaid to the frame. But I mean, honestly, unless you're looking for it, you're really not going to notice it. But you are absolutely going to notice that camera array on the back. If you watched Star Trek when you were a kid, it looks exactly like Geordi LaForge's vision visor thing. And I mean, you know what? I didn't really like it at first. I didn't like it at first, but it's grown on me. I kind of like it. And on top of that, it is actually relatively functional. What I mean by that, not talking about the camera in itself, it's a shelf for your finger. Yeah, I'm not kidding. When you're holding onto the phone, you're probably going to find that your index finger is going to rest immediately underneath of that. And it actually seems to make the phone a little bit easier to hold. And aside from that, because it goes all the way across the back of the phone, it doesn't tend to rock when it's laying flat on a surface, which is absolutely great, especially if you do intend on putting it down and you can look at that absolutely amazing screen on the front. Now, the type of display that you're going to get on your 6 or the 6 Pro is absolutely phenomenal. Amazing color, amazing brightness, amazing clarity, crispness, just everything. Even the responsiveness is absolutely fantastic. I couldn't say enough good things about the display of this phone, but really you do need an absolutely amazing display to be able to look at the types of photos that you're going to take on this phone. Really, the only problem that I was able to find in terms of the responsiveness of the display isn't even the fault of the phone itself. It's actually the fault of the operating system being run on this phone. And you've probably seen online, even some media outlets have already covered it, just how buggy Android 12 is right off the get-go. Now, keep in mind, yes, it is in its infancy, but there's a lot of different times where apps will lock up on you, or they'll, just kind of like jittery, buttons won't work and stuff like that. But to be honest, the processor inside this phone is doing its absolute best to work through that. That's the new in-house Google Tensor processor, and this thing is fast. And I mean, when you weren't running into problems with the apps and the general toggles and just random weird glitches with Android 12, you were in and out of things like super quick. There was no jitteriness to how this type of processor would handle things. We've seen processors in the past that have really kind of seemed super janky in the sense like they'll stutter, the phone will sometimes just kind of get a little confused about what it's doing, and going in and out of an app might be a little bit, tedious depending, but you don't get that at all with the first generation of this Tensor chip, and that was exciting. One thing that I didn't really get to test with too much, simply because of how little I was really able to play with the phone, was just a few hours with it, was just how energy efficient that Tensor chip was going to be, because the battery life is something that not only is important to me, but obviously was important to a lot of other people that picked up this phone, because you've seen a lot online of people kind of tearing the battery of either the 6 or the 6 Pro down. But something you need to remember, you have to remember, is the fact that on Pixel devices, similar can be said with Samsung devices, is adaptive battery is a thing. If you're unfamiliar with adaptive battery, or if you've heard of it, you're not overly sure what it is, it means that the phone is actually going to learn how you are using it over the course of, let's say, a week. And then it's going to start shutting off services and systems and processes and all this junk that you're not actually going to be using, therefore making the phone more energy efficient. Samsung's recently implemented that, I think, with like the S20 lineup, but Pixels have had it for a long time, and it seems like people keep forgetting that this is a thing. So in the first few days, you may have seen people are like, oh, the battery on the Pixel is just terrible. I mean, yeah, it's going to be. It's bad on just about every phone right off the get-go. Give it a week. You'll probably find it to be the best battery on a phone that you have ever used. Typically, day 5 to day 7 is when things start getting shut off. And that is when you are going to have your all day, if not more, battery. What do you think of the 6 or 6 Pro? Do you have a preference of either of them? Let me know in the comments just how deep into this hype train you are. And like I said at the beginning, if this is the type of content that you're into, if you like smartphones, you like gaming, that subscribe button is ready for you to be clicked on. Did I say that right? Whatever, we'll move on. And as I had mentioned, is that at the end of this video, which is now, if you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. I really am trying to build this channel into something huge, and I can do that with your help. All right, you take care. I'll see you in the next one.